Soul coded.
Hey, hello. Hope you enjoyed your coffee. Yeah, thanks. thanks. So, you ready for the next topic? Next speaker is Jason, and he made his way from GitHub, San Francisco, all this way to Hamburg. Please give him a warm welcome, Jason.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. So, my name is Jason Costello. JSN Costello on GitHub and Twitter, if you guys want to find me. And today I want to talk to you about building better culture together. I work at GitHub. I'm a designer there. And we know at GitHub we're proving, I think, that you build better software together. And I started thinking recently that the same principles apply to pretty much anything that you're building, right? And I think that the same principles that make open source powerful, they're applicable to building culture as well. And this is maybe kind of weird, but maybe you guys saw us DJing yesterday, right? So we have this DJ culture at GitHub, and I was thinking, like, this is incredible how far this has come. And like, when I was examining how this happened, I was like, I think this happened because we treat like culture and like we build everything the way we build like open source. We abide by some of the same rules, right? And so we kind of have our own thing. Maybe some of you have been to some of our parties or something like that. We think they're pretty fun. And I started noticing this parallel, and I think it allowed this culture to build much more quickly than normal and to become very powerful. So we're sort of known, this was our last party. And in San Francisco, like a lot of people show up for them. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people from the other tech companies and stuff. And this is pretty crazy. Like, there's a lot going on here. There's like visuals, all this stuff. I've been to this club to see like other electronic music acts or something, and they had like less going on than this, you know. And it's like, we're not trying to be over the top, or like we're not even throwing like money at this party. This comes from people like doing this stuff, and it started from absolutely nothing. Mostly people had very little experience. It started about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, I started GitHub, and it was like Office 1.0, right? So it was like our smallest office. I think it was our first office, rather. We had like about 15 people, and it was a Mac Mini that was going through a Chaos Pad. Does anybody know what a Chaos Pad is? It's like an effects unit. It plays like digital delay and effects, and people would just put on like dubstep and press buttons, and it sounds kind of cool. And there's like, this is the DJing .01 or something, you know. And I couldn't find a photo of it. I looked for a photo, and it wasn't photo worthy. I don't think anybody took a photo of it. So let's represent the initial DJ setup with this banana, because it might as well have been a banana because we didn't really have one. And it served its purpose, though. It got a lot of people there listening to electronic music and getting into it, right? So let's consider this just like the base interest, right? So we can put a start-stop button on it and call this the beta DJ setup. At the time that this was happening, right after I started there, after I got the chance to go to Berghain, or actually rather, at that time when I started, Techno Weenie, Rick, if you guys know him, he's a dude that works for us, and he's awesome. He was playing with like loop software on an iPad. I think at the office that may actually have like been the beginning, right? It was like, you buy this pre-built application that has like drum beats or something like that. It's like you kind of can't go wrong with it. You just drag like loops in, and that's really like auto-synced and everything. This is really like the beginning probably. It's like plugging it in. People are like, play a song. I think eventually we probably plugged that into the Chaos Pad, and then this is like, to me, initializes like the repo that is GitHub Techno and sets it up. So there's interest in like playing music really loud at the office after everybody's done working, hang out, and like, oh, play a song, Rick, or something like that, right? And he just had no idea what he was doing. He thought it was really awesome. At this time, I got to go to an awesome conference called FunConf by Paul Campbell through here. And it was an amazing week of my life, and I got to go to Berlin, and I got to go to this place. Does anybody know what this place is? Has anybody been there? Yeah. All right, this place is pretty awesome. I was a DJ a long time ago, like used to play some drum and bass on records, but I had to like sell all this gear to go to San Francisco to study design, and I had long forgotten about DJing. And in America, like going to the club or like going and like listening to music or anything is like, electronic music was just over with. Like it was replaced with rock and roll bars. It was seen, I think, as like a trend of the past, and it was seen as corny. But this is a shame. Like I used to like love this music, right? And I still listen to it. But when I went to Berghain, I saw this like culture is like still totally strong. Strong is an understatement. This is like the mecca. This is the mecca of techno culture in the entire world, right? It's really good. The best DJs are playing here. This was like so inspiring to me to see that this was still going on. So I went back to America with this rekindled passion. And it just happened to line up with GitHub hitting 1 million users. So when we hit 1 million users while I was away, I was talking to Cami, we have a community manager, and she was like, we have to have this party, and we have to like give back to the users, and it's, you know, even if it's only in San Francisco or something, like we do drink ups, but we should have a party and celebrate because it's a milestone. So I suggested to her, why not like make this a dance party, or we could have techno, we do it at a club or something like different than just doing the normal drink up. And maybe secretly it's because I was like, I want to DJ the party. Can I DJ the party? And she was like, yeah, that's awesome. You want to do that? And I was like, yeah, let's totally do this, right? So we got myself, one other GitHub DJ. It turned out someone else at GitHub at that time was like a hardware hacker, and he played like funk and soul, like James Brown and stuff. And we got a guy from Twitter, actually, a guy named Dan from London. He had awesome style. He was totally happy to play. I think we just reached out on Twitter, and he was down. So once we had this sort of coming together, we just threw up this like quick flyer on the blog, and we were basically had invited all these people. So I sealed my fate. I had to get back to being a DJ, get in front of everyone again, you know, and do this. And this could be like the worst party ever or something. Like, would people even like it? And we did it at a Mighty in San Francisco, right? So this is like the 1 million user party at Mighty, and we're gonna buy everyone drinks, and it's gonna be fantastic. It turns out it was totally fantastic, and it was probably because we just like bought the bar and let everybody come in and have free drinks. But we filled the entire place. Capacity was probably like 200 people, and all these people came, and it was really good. And we knew at the end of that night, it was like, we'll have to do this again. We'll have to like jump at this opportunity. And when I came back to the office the next week, a lot of the GitHubbers then were like, that was really cool. I want to know, like, can I do this? Like, so I was just using like not the iPad and not the Chaos Pad. I just used a tractor setup, like what you guys saw yesterday. It was actually the same exact one. Like I brought that with me. It fits in your suitcase, right? And so I bought that to play there, and it's just easier to move around than having like records. And I thought it was great, and I was like, everybody can learn how to use this thing. It's pretty simple if you can like count music and match beats. You know, you can DJ. So we had at this time, like, Scott Chacon was one of our awesome developers, was building like a video, basically a video streaming system, because we have a lot of remote employees, and if you don't want them to feel like second-rate citizens, you have to like include people and everything, right? So stream all this stuff. So we were like, let's like do a how to DJ talk or something, and like, why don't you stream it for everyone, so like, you know, everyone feels like they're included. I was like, this is like an awesome idea, let's do it. So I posted this, and I put this link up. I made a mistake. It was on talks.github.com. It was a public link, but I got an email this morning. It's going through some transitions, and if you try to go to this URL and see this, I think it's going to ask you to auth in, and then it's going to deny you access. So sorry about that. It'll probably be public a little bit later. Maybe I'll announce it on Twitter if it goes up, but this link is not correct right now. So we put this up, and in a weird way, if we were talking about this like being a repo, like the techno repo is the culture as being a repo, then that's like a README, right? Because it's just like how to do this thing. It's like explaining to people, relaying this information to everyone no matter where they are. I can't explain to every single person, so this sort of fulfills that role. And this is like essential to the way that GitHub does things, and it's essential to the success of open source projects. We encourage documentation constantly, because a README demystifies content, and it lowers the barrier entry by really helping people like understand what they're looking at. Like for instance, a designer trying to get into a project or something is they'll stop when they hit a repo that doesn't have a README in it, and you won't receive contributions from them at all. So if you consider that a README, then some of the remote employees were checking this out, and that's the tractor there, the little DJ setup. And I brought that into the office, and then I left it in the office for a little bit. And people started coming in, and this is Rick. This is the guy who was originally playing with the iPad stuff, and he came in and would play like all the time. And he's like, "Oh, that's cool that you put that video up." And then like something started to happen where we would do this. He would play. Other people would try to play. They would like plug their laptops in and have their own iTunes selection and try to DJ like the music that they liked. And this is kind of like its first stable version. It's actually a DJ setup kind of. So we'll call this like 1.0, right? And we started to hang out on late nights and stuff, and it was cool, but it's one problem. It's not very GitHub-y because you can only play one library of music, and there's only one person DJing, which is like pretty technical, or typical if you go to a club, right? I mean, it's only one person playing, but it's kind of weird if you have like a bunch of people like huddled around you, and they're like, they want to touch the knobs, and you're like, get away from me, man. Like, you need your own DJ setup or something. So it wasn't collaborative. It wasn't working out. So shortly thereafter, as fate would have it, we hired Rob Sandheim, my friend who's here today, and you saw him DJing with me yesterday. As soon as he walked in, were you hired? Were you interviewing? You were there, and yeah, and they were just like, "Yo, you guys should talk. This guy's a DJ too." And my small DJ setup was there, and I think he like had his or something, and he's like, "I'll bring mine in." And now we're like, "Yo, we have two of them. This is gonna be awesome, right?" So we figured out that you can kind of like hack it by like taking the output of one and making it the input of the other one, and then run that into the stereo. Now you have like at least like two separate controllers, and he has his music and I have mine, and now it's collaborative. So you could call this like version 2. And we both he was a DJ as well before, and we both actually like some pure techno and stuff, and so we had similar libraries, and the music went well together, and we could both DJ. So off the bat, when we plugged in and started playing, it was like a party, and people were pretty into it. There was like a lot of energy, and I think that was different than people playing around. It was like we were actually like performing for people, and then GitHub in the after hours started to turn into like a club a little bit. People were not going home, you know, and we were having decent-sized dance parties. Meanwhile, everybody else is like still showing interest in this and continuing to practice. So like little contributions are happening, right? 6 months later, after the success of that party, we have our summit where all the employees come in who are remote. And this is the only time of the year, like 2 times a year, every 6 months, that GitHub has every employee in the same place at the same time. It is a glorious event. You get to see all the people that you work with, that you love so much, you know? And we wanted to celebrate that, and we thought, let's have a techno party. So we were going to throw a techno party, and we were going to do the same thing, like buy out the bar and invite everyone to come in and dance with us, and like have the users, like everyone, just come and celebrate this with us. We held it at the same venue, and we did the same thing. But this time we had the first like duel. Me and Rob played together at the same time. We played and rocked it, and like they danced, and you know there was like. This is a decent turnout. There weren't like too many people. Even some like the GitHub crew like turned out. Maybe only like half of them turned out. But otherwise, it was like super successful. And we learned that pretty much this setup was better because we each had our own, and then we had a mixer. Like yesterday, we just had a mixer off to the side. So we learned that putting a mixer between them, like you each have both, and now we could actually like play like pretty professional sets and lean over, and we didn't have to like communicate with each other or look at each other. We could hear where the music was going and lean over, and then have this sort of mixer be like a master control between our two little setups. So you can be playing whatever, look at each other, nod, say like you're going to mix into the song, and cut it out from the main one. And this was a pretty awesome setup. For a while, this was set up in front of like the pool table at GitHub and near a bar, and so people were hanging out and hacking, and this started to create like a little community at GitHub where like people were plugging in anything into this. It's like really lowered the barrier. Like in this photo, up at the top is Defunct, the founder of Chris Wansha, the founder of GitHub, and he's actually playing off Ableton, I think. So he synced Ableton to that. If anybody's aware of Ableton, it's like DJ production. So he was like writing dubstep songs in loops and like syncing them to like songs that we were playing. So we were just like having so much fun here. It was awesome. And people, again, like everybody's hanging out and like hacking and talking about technology, and we we're just like fostering this cool environment. Everything was going great. And then like our landlord was like, you can't do this. Like it's like too loud. Like you can't do that. And everyone has to be quiet, and there will be no more techno in the office. And this is like the saddest day. This is the worst because everything's like getting good, and you're like, dude, what are we gonna do then? Like, where are we gonna do this at? This is something that we really like, and we're just asked to be quiet. And that's just the circumstances of that office, you know. So we were filled with sadness. Many wept, and the techno faded out for like 24 hours. We solved our problem, as GitHub would, by building like a quick streaming application. This is an awesome hack. It's a little bit, I could use some help, but what it is amazing. It's Icecast, which you can, I think is free. It might be like open source, right? Yeah. You could just like put this on your machine and have it either take over the audio, hijack the audio of your machine, and it can become a server and broadcast. So it turns your laptop into basically like a broadcast station. And this is pretty awesome because that tractor machine has like its own server and can like output to this and can stream live. And a guy named Atmos, who actually DJs at GitHub too, Corey Donahoe, he made an app, I think off like Heroku, had like made this so that it would stream, and then while it was streaming, it would basically record what you were doing, and about 15 minutes after you were done streaming, it would upload your set. And then it would say, like, it would send you an iOS notification. It's like, your set's done. And like, this is a pretty interesting piece of software, right? It's pretty cool. At the very least, it provides like soundtracks and more music for people that want to hear, you know, something while they're working. And again, this is like crucial because it's like asynchronous and fits in with the asynchronous GitHub style, because now you don't have to be at the office to play. Now, you know, you're just working and someone's like, I'm gonna play some music. Do you wanna hear me play some music? And they're in like South Dakota and you're in California, and everyone can tune in and listen, and we can continue, most importantly, sharing with each other and learning from each other, like as you do on GitHub, like reviewing each other's code. This is like our peer review, right? Like you're practicing, you put a mix up and I'm listening to the mix and like, that's really good, but in the middle you did something there, it didn't work, and you know, so we could kind of keep up the way that GitHub works on tech now. And then while this is happening, another code base came up. During the dark era, we had another summit. And this time, this one was pretty cool because this is the first one Dan from Twitter did not play, and all of those DJs are GitHub DJs. And that was pretty cool. We were like, we're having a party, and we're actually like, this is like a thing now. This like code base thing is like this thing that is totally GitHub, and it's like this side project, basically. That's what it is, like a GitHub inclusive, like open source side project. And you know, like something cool is starting to happen when it becomes self-referential or whatever. Remember that building I showed you, Berghain? Well, the designer Jason Long kind of put it into the bottom there when Rob told him he needed to make a reference to it. We thought that was pretty awesome. So again, we brought the beats, and again they danced. But turnout here is a little bit more, and things are getting, that night was pretty crazy. I mean, like they really danced. Like people were throwing down, you know? And now we're having too much fun. I mean, this is like a permanent part of the culture now, I think. And shortly thereafter, now people are still DJing, more people are doing it. People, I think, are getting really good. People that I didn't even think that liked it were coming in, and they were like to a professional level already that you could tell they'd been practicing and stuff. So we threw Codebase 3, and to me this was the last one that we threw. This was like a milestone, I think, in the experience that we crafted, because we did pretty good for the second one, but this was very GitHub to me. Like we leveled it up again. You can't stop, right? You keep adding to it, like it just keeps going on. This time, this one was amazing because if you've ever had like a pull request or something on open source project, I hear people like, you know, you're working on something and then like randomly someone like sends a pull request and you just wake up one day and there's this like epic pull request that like fixes all your things or like takes your project in a whole new direction or something, right? That is this guy, Drew. It says visuals by Streaming Eagle. And this is Drew. He like learned how to, I guess on the fly, this whole time he'd been practicing, he learned how to do like VJing, like visuals and lights and stuff. And this just takes everything to the next level. Now we have like our own lighting guy up there with us, and it's like, who could have imagined that this was gonna like go this far, right? So again, we played, and now there was new people playing and new DJs, and that's Drew all the way on the end, and he's like putting up GIFs of kittens. You know, like our visuals are like what you would admit like internet visuals, so it's kind of like better than what you would see in a club. Like kittens and memes are popping up, and Instagrams of yourself like up melting into the wall, and it's hilarious, you know. and they break danced this time, and the visuals like from that picture before, they were incredible. The whole entire club looked like we took it over. It was fantastic. So this was the last one that we threw, and looking back on this, like starting from the beginning, this is crazy to me that we got to this level. If you want to continue the parallel, drawing the parallel, it's like that we made a lot of people happy by doing this, but understandably, not everybody wants to like techno all night. And people were like, I want to hear like rock and roll. So we like forked our own project and we made GitHub Live, right? So this would be blues and rock and roll, and this one was going to be different. This was like tough, right? Like we have all these people that play like musical instruments and stuff, and we have to like get them to practice songs. And this was like a whole new ballgame. Like all techno experience did not help us do this, but it was pretty fantastic. We went through it. We did the first Codebase Live, and we found out like a lot of the people that we work with are like really musically talented, and some people had been in bands and they play guitar and drums and all this stuff. And we covered like 90 songs, like Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana, But it was really fun because we were able to continue this. This is like another iteration of this, just like going on and on. And again, like this is insane. How do we get here? How do we get from, the banana to like this DJ setup, which is clearly like modeled after a NASA control panel? I think there are like 5 laptops on that. This is crazy. It's a really good setup. So we got here because this was basically like this culture was the way that we did this. Looking back on it, I think was guided by like open source best practices. Like every action that we took was guided by some similar principles. First is that it's better to work together. So share your passion. Don't have a really pigeonholed idea. You have to start somewhere. Share with people. Talk. Like share your passions. I think like spending the extra time at work with people. Rick playing that music for people. That was just like something really small that was magnetic and drew people together. And then we tried to do things by setting it up in the office, and that allowed for more people to just use it. And for more people using something and more people joining your project, I think sort of extend your potential for that project for what it might be in the end, like exponentially. It doesn't double, it grows so much, right? And it's like when someone says their open source project, they're very surprised that something that they thought wasn't useful, they open source it and it becomes like a really popular project or something. They didn't expect it. Like nobody expected that some of the little things that we were doing would actually go this far and kind of be this awesome or this powerful or this much fun for us even. Iterate often. Basically, there's friction sometimes with this, like when things are changing so much, it's hard to keep up with. And we would come into the office, I think the parallel drawn here is like coming in and like your DJ setup is like wires everywhere because everybody is like bringing in anything and just like plugging it in, and they're just trying to figure out what the thing is that they do, right? Like trying to find their home in this. But that's like, that bellyache is nothing compared to like the benefit from this. And this to me is like remarkably GitHub, like just iterate. It's like always just do it, try something, try new things. Lowered barriers for contribution. Basically leaving it in the office and making it simple. And I think we'd put signs up and making the video was like doing everything that we could to make that information more accessible to people. In the case of the How to DJ video, I think it showed Rick how to DJ, and now he's one of my favorite DJs. Like when we play, I watch him, and it's really awesome because he was the dude who was like, "Oh, can you put this video up?" And now I'm like watching him, and I don't even want to play anymore. I just want to dance when he's playing, And it was all started with that like loop software, right? Be non-blocking. This maybe is more like in the way that you communicate with people when you're working with them. Non-blocking is simply better than blocking. For every one person that you stop or you try to block or like put up friction to stop them from doing something harmful, you're probably stopping like 5 other people from contributing really great things. Try to support like a non-blocking attitude in your communication with people. Make it feel okay to make mistakes. Make it feel okay, like this goes with like iterating. Nourish a culture that doesn't really believe in mistakes. Mistakes are less likely to be made overall when there are a bunch of people that care about something because you're peer reviewing each other and you're all talking about it. So in any culture that you're building, whether it's something like a music culture or doing something with your friends or putting an idea out there or an open source project, I think this is one of the most important ones, is to not block people and to encourage people to contribute to it, and in your tone overall, everything be very encouraging of people new and expert alike, right? This is also pretty much the exact opposite of the way the actual music scene works. I don't know if anybody has tried to be a DJ, or I play musical instruments too, if you've tried to be in a band. It is all blocking. Everything is like, you should fail, don't do this. Like, people tell you not to do it, and then you go into the industry and it's like very competitive, and people don't want you to be in the competition pool with them, and it just sucks. The opposite of it is much more fun, right? Like, it should just be fun. Most importantly, you have to ship it. You have to get your ideas out there. Unless you put it out there, nobody's going to know that it exists. If you're a beginner to code, I have a feeling maybe some people here are. If you're a beginner, like, ship it. Don't be nervous about people reviewing your code if you're contributing. Just as you wouldn't, don't be like embarrassed to get on a stage and do your first talk. Don't be embarrassed to like try DJing or for that code base live. When I had to strap a guitar on, I hadn't played guitar in front of people. I played every day in my bedroom, for like 10 years or something, but I hadn't played in front of people since I was 16. And then for the code base live, I had to like sing in front of them and stuff. I was terrified for like a second. But if I hadn't done that, like, would I be standing here in front of you guys? I mean, maybe partially we were asked here to do this talk and to play. We were playing some music last night. I might not be here, so you don't know what effect you'll have. Like, what effect will you have? What can you contribute to the people around you if you just say, fuck it, ship everything. And on that note, thank you very much for letting us share some music with you last night, and for letting me be here and have an awesome excuse to talk about techno and open source culture. Thank you very much.